Today, we're going to break down the 7 powerful habits that entrepreneur Dan Martell used to completely transform not just his life, but his bank account. Okay, let's dive right in.
So, how does somebody go from being broke at 24 to a cash millionaire just 3 years later? According to Martell, it wasn't some big secret or a lucky break. Nope, it was a series of small, consistent habits that just compounded over time. So, what exactly did he change? Well, let's break down these 7 habits one by one. Everything, and I mean everything, starts with your internal programming. So the first couple of habits are all about cultivating a millionaire mindset. Building that foundation that all success is built on.
The very first pillar of that mindset, it's habit number 1, feed your mind. And look, this isn't about just casually reading a book here and there. This is a relentless, hardcore commitment to self-education, to solving your own problems by going out and getting the knowledge.
And when I say commitment, I mean it. He's read over 1,800 books. He actually says this all started with an incredible gift from his father, who gave him an unlimited budget for books. Think about that. That one move taught him that pretty much any problem he could ever face, someone somewhere had probably already solved it and written a book about it.
Now, his strategy for reading is what's really interesting here. It's not about speed reading. First, he just asks, what books are the absolute best people in this field recommending? Then, he reads to learn, not just to get to the last page. And here's the kicker, that last point right there. The second he gets a huge, actionable idea, he literally puts the book down and goes and executes on it. It's all about application, not just piling up information.
The second piece of this millionaire mindset flows right from the first one. It's habit number 2, be obnoxiously curious. This means you got to challenge the status quo by constantly asking why. Not to be a pain, but because you genuinely want to understand things on a deeper level. This quote on the screen just nails it. A mentor told him this after being super quiet at a dinner party, and it drove home a huge point. Curiosity isn't about you talking and proving how smart you are. It's about being quiet enough to learn what everyone else knows. That right there, that's the engine for all progress. Okay, so you've developed the mindset. Fantastic. But let's be real. A mindset without action is just a daydream, right? So this brings us to the next batch of habits, which are all about mastering the art of action, turning those internal thoughts into real, tangible results. The first habit of action is one that, honestly, a lot of people are terrified of. Habit number 3, talk to strangers. The big idea here isn't just that old saying, your network is your net worth. It's deeper. It's that the real value of your network is based on who will support you. And all of that support starts with just one simple conversation. And to make this way less scary, he teaches this super simple, incredibly effective 3-step intro. Step 1 is easy. Hi, my name is. Then step 2, I help a specific group of people get a specific desired outcome. And you finish it with step 3 with our unique process. It's so clear, so powerful, and it makes the other person immediately lean in and ask, oh really? How do you do that?
So once you're actually talking to people, the next action habit is number 4. Ask for feedback. Martell has this incredible line for this. He says, money runs out, but feedback multiplies. Wow, just think about that. It's an asset that literally compounds the more you get it and the more you use it. And this timeline is a perfect real-world example of its power. So picture this. His brother starts a home building company and nearly goes bankrupt because he was just guessing what people wanted. The fix? That next step. He just stopped building, found 5 of his ideal customers, and asked for feedback. And the result? The now? He went from almost going bust to selling 16 homes in his first year. That's the power of feedback.
All right, the final habit in this action-focused block might just be the most powerful one of all. It's habit number 5, default to action. This isn't about always making the perfect decision. It's about making a decision and then working your butt off to make it the right one. It's all about creating momentum.
Man, I love this quote because it just perfectly captures that balance, right? The goal isn't to get rich tomorrow. The goal is to take consistent daily action. You have to be impatient with your effort today, but patient with where it'll get you in the long run. Millionaires don't just talk, they do. And if you want to see what this looks like in the real world, check this out. Martell was in a 12-month earnout from a company he sold, but he had a new idea. So he made this incredibly gutsy, financially risky decision to walk away from guaranteed money to chase it. The result? Just 3 months later, he had raised $1.6 million in funding for that new company, Clarity. The world rewards courageous action, period.
Okay, so we've got the mindset and we've got the bias for action. But how do you sustain all that momentum? How do you make it last? Well, that's where we get to our final 2 habits, which are all about building the success systems that capture your results and help you scale.
So let's start with habit number 6, manage your energy flows. And I really want you to pay close attention to that wording, because that distinction is absolutely critical. Because here's the thing we all get wrong. It's not about managing your time. It's about managing your energy. Martel went from working these brutal 100-hour weeks, totally burned out, to working less than 40 hours a week and being way more productive. The shift happened when he stopped focusing on the number of hours and started focusing on the quality and intensity of his work within those hours.
So what does this actually look like? Well, first, he blocks everything in his calendar. Personal stuff, professional stuff, all of it, so he can see his true capacity. Second, he attacks the most important money-making projects first thing in the morning when his energy is at its absolute peak. And finally, he reviews tomorrow's schedule the night before, just to make sure it flows and he's ready to hit the ground running.
And that leads us to our final habit, number 7, measure everything. This is all built on that timeless principle that what gets measured gets managed, and what gets managed, well, that gets expanded. Just like Martel says here, what you measure with specificity and frequency expands. For him, this means he gets a daily cash email from his companies so he can feel their financial pulse. When he wanted to get visible abs, it meant tracking his macros, workouts, and weight every single day. That simple, consistent act of measuring creates focus and just drives results.
And when you put this all together, you can almost feel the flywheel start to spin. Your mindset, that curiosity and constant learning, that fuels your actions, like talking to people and getting feedback. And those actions generate results. And then your systems, managing your energy and measuring everything, they capture those results and create even more momentum for more action. Each part just feeds the next, and the whole thing starts spinning faster and faster.
Which brings us to the final and most crucial question. Martel talks about your MINS, your most important next step. So after learning all of this, the question isn't which habit is the best. The real question is, for you, right now, what is your single, most important next step?